Welcome to The Project. Tonight, he was one of the greatest actors to ever live. The world remembers Gene Hackman as mystery surrounding his death deepens.
We're keeping everything on the table. You know, I think the autopsy is going to tell us a lot.
In space, no one can hear you puke. Yeah, how the International Space Station is making astronauts sick in their tum-tums.
Plus, we chat to some of our littlest experts and see what advice they have about love.
I didn't know you were going to read it that way. And Aussie comedian Troy Kinne is here to get your weekend off to a laughing start.
Yeah, gotta keep you guessing. We are live from the lands of the Kulin Nation, and it is a big Friday welcome to star of stage and screen, veteran thespian, and our comedy queen and queen of our hearts, it's Susan Newsom! She's back!
Oh, it's been a long time Friday night, but I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, so happy to have
missed you guys.
back.
We missed you.
Good.
A lot.
Thank you. Good.
But you had a wonderful experience doing your play?
I had a wonderful experience doing a play in Adelaide for 2 months and also sweating quite a bit. It was really fun.
Oh, brag.
Silly. I know.
I know.
It was wonderful, but I'm very happy to be back.
Oh, you were so amazing.
We missed you.
You're never allowed to leave again. Okay, so let's get into today's top stories. And tonight, the police investigation into the deaths of legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa and their dog continues. Their bodies were found at their Santa Fe home yesterday. It was a tradie who made the grim discovery and called 911.
Santa Fe 911, what is it? It's the emergency.
Hello, I'm the caretaker for Santa Fe Summit. I think we just found one deceased person inside the house.
Are they moving at all?
No, dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here really quick.
Hackman was 95. Betsy, a classical pianist, was just 64. Police believe the couple have been dead quite a while, but say they found no obvious signs of foul play.
Zach Rael is a journalist who's in Santa Fe and has been following the story, so he joins us now. Zach, thank you very much for your time. Is there anything more you can tell us at the moment?
Hey, thank you for having me. So we can tell you right now, we heard from the Santa Fe County Sheriff, Adon Mendoza, giving an update on the investigation right now. Really, it's wide open as far as they're concerned. They're not ruling out foul play. They're not ruling out other causes of death right now. What we're mainly waiting for is the autopsy and the toxicology reports to come through. As far as the investigation, though, they're looking at just about every single possibility for their deaths.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned they're not ruling out foul play. Why is that?
Yeah, that really struck out in the press conference that the sheriff gave this afternoon, just because there's so much different evidence right now at the crime scene that they're trying to gather. When they arrived to the home, the door was open. Betsy, she was found in a bathroom in the home. There was a space heater next to her that was kind of thrown to the ground. There was also a pill bottle with prescription pills kind of thrown all over the counter in the bathroom. Gene was found in what's being described as a mudroom near the kitchen. It appears that he might have dropped to the floor rather suddenly. There's many other just things at the scene right now. They cannot make a determination that foul play wasn't involved in this. They're saying that there were no obvious signs of foul play. That's important, but they cannot rule it out completely.
Well, Zach, you say that nothing's really off the table, I guess. So do we know any more about what the police's investigation is going to look like? What are the next steps?
Yeah, so one of the things that they're obviously looking at right now is the possibility of carbon monoxide poisoning. The Santa Fe Fire Department, as well as PNM, which is our gas company here in New Mexico, they both went out, they both conducted tests, they looked at their gas lines. As far as that initial investigation went, they said they couldn't determine if carbon monoxide poisoning was a factor here. They also didn't rule it out, again, leaving this investigation very wide open.
There are so many layers to this, some of which you just raised. One of the strange ones, it might seem under the circumstances that I'm trying to understand and comprehend, is that we know 2 of their dogs were alive, one inside, one outside, but there's also 1 dog that was dead in the house with the couple. Do we know any more about that?
Yeah, unfortunately, one of their dogs, what's being described as a German Shepherd, apparently it was in a kennel about 10 or 15 feet away from Betsy's body where she was found. They're saying that kennel was in a closet, perhaps, in that bathroom. Again, that dog did pass away. They found the 2 other dogs somewhere on the property. Their property is in the mountains of Santa Fe in a gated community. It's a rather large property. Not entirely sure exactly where those dogs were found, but we are told they had access to go in and out of the home, presumably through a dog door.
Well, certainly a lot to unpack, and there will be more to come, I'm sure. But Zach, thank you very much for your insight at the moment.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, to other news now, and there's been no big revelations following the release of hundreds of pages from the Jeffrey Epstein files by the US Justice Department. All the information contained in the documents has pretty much been leaked previously, but it did reveal Epstein had plenty of A-listers' numbers in his phone, including the likes of Mick Jagger, Naomi Campbell, and Alec Baldwin. And can you imagine what AI chatbots are like when they have a conversation? Imagine no more.
Yeah.
People are totally creeped out by footage of them speaking English, then switching to something called Gibberlink for more efficient communication.
Is your hotel available for weddings?
Oh, hello there. I'm actually an AI assistant too. Before we continue, would you like to switch to Gibberlink mode?
Oh, no.
I think you and I just started doing Gibberlink, Susan, when we were like, what?
Yes, be careful, because is it like cultural appropriation now to go meet moop, beep boop?
This is truly terrifying. What were they saying to each other? I don't believe what they were
One of them
telling
was a little
us.
bit more fluent than the other. She was going at a real click. He was struggling.
Yeah,
but also,
so
well
true.
done, chatbots. You invented dial-up. Who cares? Who cares?
But here's the thing, because someone, like the programmers of AI, have to have put this in there. You know, it's like we have created a language for them to use by themselves.
Or have we?
Have we? Or
have we?
You think that the
They
AI
are
chatbots have done
smarter
this?
than we are.
Oh, no, already?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
If they, do you know how we know they're smarter? If they can book a wedding that simply and easy.
Oh, yeah.
Hell is coming for us all!
Okay. They're booking a wedding venue and no one's crying. This is the future.
Oh,
okay?
my God.
That is the future.
Yeah, there
Well,
we go.
they should be thinking about this over in WA, where the election is hotting up. The state election over there. Current Premier Roger Cook, he's doing what you got to do. You got to kiss the babies, you got to pour the beers, and you got to make coffees in a busy cafe. But the barista, she has notes.
This is about getting the bubbers out, is it?
Yeah,
You know what you...
because it was a bit bubbly because we didn't have it on running.
Okay.
Oh, that's all right. Go start somewhere.
Go start somewhere. Go start somewhere.
You think it'd be better because, like most politicians, too much hot air. That's the problem. That's the problem. But look, he stuck with it. Roger made his cup of coffee, and boy, was he ready to taste the sweet taste of success.
Absolutely.
Thank you very
Good
much.
job. Are you going to drink it now?
No, I don't drink milky coffee.
What a throw!
She was right to be iffy on him there.
Oh,
That
yeah,
she
'cause-
needed to give those notes because she was like, the vibe here, I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, I like my coffee black. Like your mood. So afterwards, he's gone out into a press conference, and if you thought they were going to let this whole milky coffee incident slide, you are very sadly mistaken.
And what's easier, making coffee or running the state?
Oh, well, that was... Yeah, I'm not a milky coffee drinker, right? So that was a little confronting. It's not part of my my comfort zone.
Although he does support the dairy industry.
I do support the dairy industry.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, just not with his mouth, soy boy. Am I right?
Is that right?
Imagine they said prove it, and he just skulls a glass, Nicole Kidman style,
Oh,
baby girl.
baby girl.
Oh my God,
Oh, what
very
a
creepy.
visual. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Oh, welcome back to a very happy Friday project because Susie Youssef is back. And Troy Kinne is going to join us live in the studio later.
Such a big show, such a big show. And before all of that, just like my childhood bedroom, apparently the International Space Station has been accused of being too clean.
Oh.
Yeah, did you know that?
No, about your bedroom? No, of course not. Of course not.
Well, why do astronauts need a microbial mess in order to stay alive, and how do we yuck it up there?
For almost a quarter of a century,
booster ignition and liftoff of Discovery.
Humans have inhabited a new frontier, the International Space Station.
Making shuttle history and building our future in space.
A feat of engineering, sleek, scientific, and clean. Maybe too clean.
I can't breathe in this thing!
Actually, definitely too clean, according to a new study. Astronauts collected 803 swabs from different surfaces of the ISS. Then, researchers created a 3D microbe map. They found the space station had an extreme lack of microbe diversity. In fact, human skin was the primary source of microbes. Ew. And it's making astronauts sick.
Our immune systems are significantly affected, like immune cells age faster, latent viruses become active again, often in a subclinical way, so astronauts don't always realise it.
But it's not just about helping astronauts upon their return to germy Earth. It's about the future of humanity.
The more we research humans as subjects in space, the more that we can prepare to go further afield to do new kinds of science and do new kinds of research further from Earth. Without solving these problems, it will be a challenge.
But introducing new microbes isn't as simple as it may seem. While Earth has had millions of years of evolution to keep microbes in balance, it would be easy for something to get out of control and run wild on a spaceship.
There is a difference between it being too sterile and living in filth versus having a diverse microbiome up there. So it'll be interesting to see how to find that correct balance between diversity in microbes and a sterile environment into the future.
Scientists, they don't have the answers, but who does? I do.
Yes.
Because need more germs. Ever heard of teenage boys? Get them up there. Get them up there.
What are they doing?
Why are these single socks suddenly floating around?
And then we need to find the balance. Teenage girls get up there, like Georgie Tunny.
So the space station is being told it's too clean, when it is inhabited with people who urinate in their own suits.
Yes.
Isn't that they recycle their own toilet?
Yeah.
In fairness, they don't have very much to do, so they're just cleaning up all day. You know, when you're waiting for someone to come over and you just keep cleaning, it's like that, but all the time.
Oh, they're waiting for the visitors that never
It
come.
wasn't the data that I was expecting, like for us to be talking about today.
I really hope that becomes your catchphrase. Well, that wasn't the data I was expecting.
We can make it tonight. Okay.
Well, here's the data I was expecting. It's Friday night.
Yeah. Oh, what?
The weekend is here. Everything is fine now. Raise a glass of milk and scull it till I pat you like a dog, because it's time for...
Reels.
Let's high kick things off with Gia Coppola's Beauty, The Last Showgirl.
Las Vegas used to treat us like movie stars. We were ambassadors for style and grace. The Las Vegas showgirl.
Pamela Anderson shines as showgirl Shelley. Oh, sorry, I spat on myself. A glamorous dancer whose world is shattered when the curtain comes down on her gig after 30 years.
Places, please. This is your place's call for the final performance of the Razzle Dazzle.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Dave Bautista round out a glittering cast, all grappling with the changing of the guard.
Always move in with you and pay you rent. No, my lease is up in like 10 months.
You're gonna gamble it all. I know you.
No, I'm
gonna lose my house like you lost yours.
Oh, speaking of grappling, fun fact, both Dave Bautista and Pamela Anderson have a history in wrestling. Huh? Anyone? Anyone?
Oh. What is wrong with you?
Moving hastily along to another brutalist Guy Pearce movie, Inside.
In the olden times, they didn't have prisons. They'd take a goat, they'd put all the sins of the tribe on it, and then they'd send the goat off to die. Yes,
fun story, bro. This one's about teenager Mel, who turns 18 and gets the worst birthday gift ever. Transferred from juvenile detention to a maximum security adult prison.
Maybe sharing a cell with a new inmate, Mark Shepherd.
Then Warren, played by Pearce, recruits Mel to kill his bunkmate.
There's a contract on him. You pull the shit out, and bam, 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 bam.
Sounds full on, although I'm not so worried about Mark or Mel. I'm just worried about what happened to that goat. Let's end with the Aussie film you can take the kids to, The Lost Tiger.
What is that?
It's just a baby.
But a baby what?
Teo the Tassie Tiger, oh sorry, I spat again, is found far from home and adopted by a boisterous kangaroo family.
Are you ready to Romania?
What if you join us on stage one day?
Me? I'm not a Roo. I don't even know what I am.
Wait, they're wrestlers? Ho ho! There's no avoiding it now, suckers! Soon Teo sets out on the quest of a lifetime.
Should be just about here. If this kills me, I'm going to be really upset.
But also, wrestling!
I'm a tiger.
And this is my land. And that was...
Reels.
With all that wrestling.
It's a big
you
weekend with
loved
the
it.
Elimination Chamber coming up on Sunday. And then, of course, Monday's the Oscars. It all
Yes.
happens. The whole Rose Reels year has been building to this.
Who do you think is going to win
Say it.
Best
Declare it.
Picture? Go.
I feel Honora has a wave coming, but I'm going to call it. It might be controversial. I think Amelia Perez is going to take out Best.
Really?
There's been a lot
Surely
of
Negativity directed towards that
around certain performers and certain
Yeah.
things they have said online.
Yeah.
However, it's a very, very good movie.
Okay, we're going to wind this back come Monday.
Honora. More project after the break. I just found a random paperclip on the desk. I better put it on properly or it might come up in my report.
You're so right. Let's get into some news. And both Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton have played down Donald Trump's awkward AUKUS moment. AUKUS! Donald Trump appeared not to know what it was when he was asked about it as he hosted British PM Keir Starmer at the White House. Albo says he's confident, though, that the president sees the US-Australia relationship as, quote, positive and important.
So you'll be discussing AUKUS with the Prime Minister, sir?
What does that mean?
AUKUS, the Australia-US Defence Alliance.
There's a lot of acronyms in this business.
That's the way to say it. But now it comes as 3 Chinese warships and potentially a nuclear submarine sit about 600 kilometres off Adelaide. They're being shadowed by Anzac frigate HMAS Stuart.
Two more acronyms, Georgie.
There's more. And Australia's divorce rate has hit an all-time low. The latest stats show around 1 in 3 marriages ended in divorce in 2023. That's the lowest rate in 50 years. Experts say it's a sign the way we view marriage has changed, with couples living together before getting married, if they marry at all. Aussies are also divorcing later on in life.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be positive. There's 3 of us at the desk. If we can get the divorce rate down to 1 in 4.
Come on!
Yes.
I must admit, as a wise person once said, this was not the data I expected.
It's catching.
It is. So, how wise? Just how wise was that person?
Very wise, very wise, very wise. And
I can see it. Now, guys, I absolutely cannot ignore it any longer.
Then don't.
I refuse to. I'm not going to.
Good.
I'm not going to. I'm going to talk about it. It's the last day of summer.
There, she said it.
Yeah, I've said it. So let's see what the first weekend of autumn has in store with our very own weather girl. It's Satellite Susie.
Thank you, Georgie, Tunny. Yes, let's pour one out for Hot Girl Summer and get ready to dive headfirst into your tepid girl autumn. Is that a thing? Probably not.
Yay.
Melbourne is giving very seasonal shifts with 25 on Saturday before returning to form with showers later in the weekend. Melbourne's so moody. Maybe I can change him. Much like my young self, Sydney is living in denial of the fall with highs of 29. 29 is also what you'll pay for a coffee and a Freon, dear my beloved Sydney. Makona at home, anyone? Yes, it is a cost of living crisis. Brisbane, hot 31. Home of Georgie Tunny. Swiping right? Yes, we are. No, I'm not. I love my partner. I hope he gets better. Like Rove on the netball court, Perth is here if you need. Not only matching Brisbane's 31, but raising it to a sunny 34 on Sunday. 3 more degrees. Who are you, Perth? My younger sister Anne. What a clever little brat. Adelaide will hit that sweet spot of 28 degrees, which I'm hearing is just warm enough for Premier Peter Malinauskas to take his shirt off. If you're into that sort of thing, I wouldn't know. I love my partner. And it's a Hobart heat wave with highs of 23 and 19. Whoa. And in my opinion, Hobart is perfect every day. Note to self, get the coat out of the cupboard. I'm kidding. I've never put it away. Darwin and Canberra will both hit 34 this weekend. But for now, I'm Satellite Susie. Back to the sunniest part of the country. It's Georgie Tunny. Very good.
Yes. It's now time for us to get a temperature check at what's happening overseas because NRL fans descending on Sin City today ahead of the league showcase. Las Vegas curtain raises this weekend. And along with the building excitement, there's been fallout from that classic league argy-bargy earlier this week when 2 Raiders teammates came to blows. Hudson Young and Morgan Smithies reportedly punched on after a hotel booking issue left one of them without a room. Now stay with me here. An inflatable baseball bat was involved in the biff, mistaken as a weapon by hotel security. The players were then briefly kicked out, but later let back into the hotel and their room, which they then discovered to be taken over by a Panthers player.
What?
Yeah.
Drama.
It's a lot. It's
That's
a lot
the
of
worst
drama.
of it.
Yeah, there's a lot. NRL great Aaron Woods is over in Vegas for the games to help us unpack it all. Now, Aaron, thank you so much for being with us. Well, there seems to be a lot happening where you are. What's going on?
Have a look at it. There's a lot. We just had the fan fest. There's absolutely lunatics everywhere. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to talk to you guys, but there's people left, right, and centre. There's Canberra Raiders. There's Warriors. There's fans everywhere. It's so good to see. But thanks for having us on tonight.
It's so wonderful to see all of those jerseys walking past you in the background for sure. Let's focus on a little bit of that lunacy that we saw at the start of the week. Two Raiders boys, Hudson and Morgan. How are they? You checked in with them after the incident. How are they going?
Yeah, I did actually. I was in the gym trying to sweat off all the beers that we've had over the last couple of weeks here. And I bumped into Morgan Smithies and Hudson Young in the gym. I said to the boys, who wants to wrestle me first? They were like, they knew it was a joke. But honestly, they just said, look, we had a little wrestle. The only bad thing we did was press the emergency button on the lift, and that's what got the security guards up. But look, honestly, it was a storm in a teacup. The boys will be firing come Saturday afternoon. They'll be ready to fire up for the Canberra Raiders.
But let's be honest, we've got the NRL in Vegas. Drinks are flowing. It's there. You can drink on the street. Let's be honest, we're not really surprised. What we should be surprised is this didn't happen earlier. What took so long?
Unbelievable. I reckon we should bring this back to Sydney. We should bring this back to Sydney. The fans, I don't know if we call them fans. I think we should call them lunatics over here. They're loving it. They're getting around it. And look, the game's still 2 days away, and they're peaking a little bit too early. Have a listen to the lunatic right behind me. I don't know which team he's supporting, but this is unreal. Oh, there we go. Some Warriors idiot, but let's go. Keep going.
I'm guessing you're dressed from the waist down exactly like the two ladies over your right shoulder.
Well, let's just say I've got a bit more on, because if I was wearing what they did, I'd be having to pull my wedgies out all the time.
That's right. You're a professional, Woodsy. I know this. Hey, what I'm interested in is, do you know if Peter V'landys contacted the boys personally? Because I can imagine a little bit about what his reaction would be.
Well, look. I spoke to Peter V'landys about it. He just reckons it was a storm in a teacup. He's more worried about Donald Trump coming to the game because he wants to get the president here. What better way to sell the game? We've had two blokes have a stink in the elevator. That Trump loves the confrontation. Look, do you like Donald Trump? But yeah, mate, as I said, sorry, lunatics everywhere. Mate, Peter V'landys loves it. Hopefully we can get Trump to the game, and hopefully the Canberra Raiders don't deter anyone from the game.
Woodsy, the only team I care about are the Rabbits, so I'm not that interested. But are the Americans loving the NRL over there?
Well, look, honestly, I come here last year and they were calling it rugby. I've come here this year, they're going to rugby league. I reckon the best thing for them at the moment is the stink in the lift. They love, as I said, they love confrontation, love collision, and that's all they can talk to me about at the moment. And look, there's a lot of people asking, what are you Aussies doing over here at the moment? I'll tell you what we're doing. We're here to kick off our rugby league season. We want to get it going, and what better in the best place, the capital of partying, Las Vegas, baby, at Legion Stadium.
Well, we'll let you get back to it. Enjoy the rest of it, and thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me, and sorry about all the lunatics around me. They're loving the rugby league, they're loving the coverage. Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, good on you, Woodsy. Good on you. And well done for teaching Americans that it's rugby league, not just rugby, because I'm still trying to teach Victorians and it's just, they cannot get it.
But he crushed that accent,
He
though, didn't he?
absolutely did, absolutely did. Time for more of today's top stories. And mystery still surrounds the death of legendary actor Gene Hackman. The bodies of the 95-year-old and his 64-year-old wife, Betsy Arakawa, were found at their Santa Fe home yesterday. It's believed the couple, found in separate rooms, had been dead for, quote, quite a while. One of their 3 dogs was also found dead. Police have deemed their deaths suspicious, despite finding no obvious signs of foul play. Initial tests have revealed no signs of a gas leak.
It's not normal to find 2 people deceased in a residence. That's concerning. So we're keeping everything on the table. You know, I think the autopsy is going to tell us a lot.
And while police continue their investigations, the rest of the world is remembering one of the greatest acting careers in the history of Hollywood. From the most thrilling car chase in movie history to the greatest criminal mind on earth.
Lex Luthor.
Gene Hackman was Hollywood's acting elite.
I'm not talking about dance lessons. I'm talking about putting a brick through the other guy's windshield.
His prolific career, spanning 4 decades and including almost 80 films, saw Gene decorated with 2 Oscars, 2 BAFTAs and 3 Golden Globes. Born in 1930, a California native, By the time he was 13, his father left him.
I was down the street playing with some guys, and he drove by and kind of waved. And
At 16, Hackman signed up to the Marines, spending 4 years with the military before leaving to try his hand at acting, inspired by tough guy James Jimmy Cagney.
Come out and take it, you dirty yellow-bellied rat, or I'll give it to you through the door.
It wasn't until he was 37 that Gene got his big break after receiving a nomination for Best Supporting Actor in the 1967 Bonnie and Clyde.
Take a good look, Pop. I'm Buck Barrel.
For the rest of the 20th century, he had audiences at the edge of their seats.
Can you see it? Huh?
In hysterics.
I told him white would make me look fat.
And truly inspired.
In my book, we're going to be winners.
I think he's going to be remembered as an actor with an unbelievable hit rate. The man gave really no bad performance his entire career.
At 74, Hackman had enough of the screen.
It's probably all over.
Avoiding roles as the Hollywood grandfather, he spent the following 20 years painting, writing fiction, and enjoying exercise. The last known sighting of Gene in April, going for a stroll near his home in Santa Fe. Since the actor's death, an outpouring of grief and respect has flooded the internet from Hollywood and beyond. Legendary actor Bill Murray recalling what working with Hackman was like.
He was a tough nut, Gene Hackman, but he was really good. And he was really difficult.
Survived by his 3 children, tonight the world is remembering one of Hollywood's true greats.
Well, Gary Fleder is a film director who worked with Hackman in one of his last movies, the 2003 hit Runaway Jury. Gary, thank you so much for being with us today. Just how are you feeling?
You know, I woke up this morning here in Toronto, Ontario, pretty misty, pretty sad about it. You know, I knew he was in his 90s, but, you know, it sort of reminds you that, I mean, they're human, and it makes us realize that we're also on that train. But no, I just, you know, I knew the day was coming, but like having a relative or a friend who's older or maybe even sick, you still have the shock.
What was the last contact that you had with Gene?
I think it was actually at a press. I remember it was a press junk. He didn't come to the premiere of the movie. He was just here's the thing about Gene that has to be understood. He was a very shy guy. He didn't live in Hollywood. He lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He had a beautiful home. He played golf. He was a writer. And I think he just, he avoided Hollywood. And I remember he liked the movie. I talked to him at the press junket, but he just didn't give a crap about going to these premieres and these screenings. I think he felt it was an imposition. There's that picture of him for the movie, The Conversation. He reminded me so much of that character, you know, sort of quiet and soft-spoken, but there was this internal an intensity and maybe, you know, the anger that sort of sat there. And I think that's what you feel about some of these actors like Pacino and De Niro and certainly and Hackman, this intensity and this anger that kind of sits there, which makes him feel somewhat dangerous, you know?
Yeah, it's lovely to hear you be able to talk to him in that personal way, talking about the love and the admiration that you have for him. But what was it that set Gene apart as an actor for you?
That's a great question. There was never a single frame that wasn't authentic, a single shot that wasn't authentic. And it's funny because I had a certain intimidation factor in directing him because, you know, first of all, being a film nerd as much as a filmmaker, you know, just to work with a guy who'd been in all these amazing movies. So for me, I remember occasionally we'd be doing a scene in Runaway Jury and in the war room scene, like he was sort of running the war room for this corrupt jury corruption scandal. And I remember a few times, you know, I didn't love a certain performance or maybe a certain choice he was making. And I'd say, cut. And I'd say, Gene, he goes, I know, act better. And that's true. I love that about him. You know, the other thing I loved about Gene is that I remember vividly that when we were lighting a shot for the film, he wouldn't leave the set. Many actors, they say, are we done with my shot? And then they F off back to their trailer. And he never left. He wanted to sit there and be in his chair and read his lines, read his sides, and be present. And one of the funny things for those inside baseball ideas, he would take his script and he would cross out all the all the parentheticals and all the directions saying, telling him how to act the scene. So all that was left were his dialogue, his words. And again, it was the idea that to your question, I mean, he was such an intelligent guy and so intuitive. He didn't want to be told how to do his job. It came from him. He just had this wonderful instinct about his craft. And I mean, looking back to that time I spent with him on the film, I just, like I said, never a moment that didn't feel authentic.
What was he like on set with other actors? Because obviously you got to see this firsthand.
So I think that Gene understood his own boundaries. That he wasn't going to do something that he felt was silly or he'd make a fool of himself. I think that wasn't who he was. And I'm going to be very honest about this. He didn't suffer fools. Gene was very precise. He'd do 2 or 3 takes. They were perfect, and he'd move on. And Dustin was very much like, let's do 15 takes. Let's try this. Let's try that. He was very almost manic. And I remember thinking, wow, how's this going to go? Because they love each other, they have respect, but there's also a process conflict, right? Again, there was that contrast. But on set, he definitely liked actors that were prepared, that were passionate. And one more thing is that it's amazing. I'd say to him, who do you like? And he said, I love Jack Nicholson. Oh. I love Nicholson because he just was he found Nicholson to be so joyful. Whatever he did, there was a joy in the work. There was a passion in the work, and Gene loved that about him. There was a movie that actually Gene turned down with Mike Nichols called Wolf. I think it's a werewolf movie or something where he becomes a wolf. And Gene said to me, "I don't know how can I be a wolf? I can't be a wolf." But he said Nicholson could do it because Nicholson's like, "I'll be a wolf."
Well, so many great elements of his career and life to look back on. How do you think Gene Hackman will be remembered?
The first word I got this morning when I got the first message about Gene was somebody wrote to me just the word legend. And I think that we have to accept the fact that in the music world, it's a David Bowie or a Prince, somebody, a James Brown, and it's just, they will never go away. They'll never fade. They really are immortal in the scope of that art. Gene Hackman is that.
How special that you're part of that immortality. Gary, we thank you so much for being so generous with your memories of the wonderful Gene, because we know that it is still a really raw day. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll be back with more Project after the break.
Welcome back. You're watching The Project, and in just a second, you'll be watching some relationship advice from these little legends. Do you know what a relationship is?
When there's 2 friends that love each other and they have something in common. Sometimes it can be a friend at school, sometimes it can be romantic. When 2 people love each other and they might ask you to dance with them. When people love each other so much they are married.
How do you have a good relationship?
If you help each other maybe and look out for each other. Maybe don't say rude words. Presents.
Yeah, presents.
For clothes.
Yeah, if that's your love language.
If someone doesn't have any money, you would probably share it with them. Not fight over who's washing the dishes.
Yep, it's a classic one.
If someone is sick, you need to get a doctor's appointment for them and they don't have to do it on their own.
Yeah, because that's what love is, just booking a doctor's appointment for someone, don't you think?
Yeah.
How do you know when 2 people are madly in love with each other?
Because they kiss. If a teacher's madly in love, I think they would just tell you.
Oh, okay.
They drink wine.
If they love each other, they drink wine?
My mum's in love with me a lot. I'm her beloved kid.
You're her beloved kid? That's so nice.
Yeah, and also my mum and I don't drink wine.
Yeah, so you don't have to.
We drink chocolate milk.
Beautiful.
They have to make sure that they actually love each other, and if that's all true, then they should probably just get married.
Yep.
And so another thing is it's kind of hard to afford wedding places.
They're so expensive, so you have to wait.
Sometimes you might have to have one in your backyard.
Have either of you ever been married?
No.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
No, okay.
Of course we haven't been married
Not yet.
We're only 7. I reckon I will marry my best friend Roisin because we've been friends so long.
What do you think is better? Do you think it's better to be single or better to be married?
Married. I don't think there is a good part about being married.
No? You don't reckon there's any advantages to it? Not even the tax write-offs?
In a game, if you have to have two people, you could play with two people.
Oh, so getting married, you've always got someone to do a two-player game with?
Yeah.
Of course.
And also lots of company, but if you're single, you're just like eating breakfast, turning the lights off, go to bed, no good night.
No good night from anyone, yeah, I hear that. What's the right age to get married?
Like a grown-up.
Like a grown-up?
I would reckon not really a grown-up, but like in the ages of a grown-up. I really want to be married right now, so I'm going to choose 7.
Okay, 7, fair.
7's just right, but 0's too young.
Yeah, fair enough. So my mum and dad, they got married when they were 22. Is that too young?
No. I wouldn't say so, but if it was like under 20 or just little or just like 23 or under, I would say that's
a bit too young.
Way too much.
Yeah. So
but it is 22 and under, so
not too bad.
It's not too bad. I don't think you should get married when you're a kid because you might meet someone else. Oh, my nana said she didn't get married till she was like 39 or something.
Yeah, wow, okay. So there's still a bit of hope for me.
She had a very good life.
Well, that's good.
But she just didn't have anybody who loved her that much.
Yeah. Can I ask, if people want to be happy in a relationship, do you have any advice for them?
Just be honest and open your heart to truly what you really want. You buy them what they want. Be kind to them, even when they're angry. Don't fight. And if you're upset about something, sit and watch TV.
It's great advice.
Your best one yet. That was
That got me in the field.
incredible.
Pasma, if you're watching, break out the switch and the choc milk. I'm booking us a doctor's appointment.
You should have got married at 7.
Huge thank you to all of those legends at Summerhill Public School. We'll be back. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Fantastic.
beautiful.
Hey, look, news. It can be a lot like showering with Clive Palmer. It's wet, there's a strong smell in the air, and when it's over, you somehow still feel a bit dirty. Well, I'm here with a big dry towel to rub the talc into the thighs and set you straight. Here we go.
Here we go.
Foodies in China are raving about an incredible noodle dish available only at a local funeral home. The dish is so popular, some diners have even attempted to pass themselves off as mourners just to get a taste. I mean, the phrase "to die for" gets thrown around a lot. But this is more like crematory yum. A town in England is trying to solve the mystery of who's this guy riding a pushy through the streets early in the morning dressed as Batman, complete with a cape. I personally would start by looking at any rich guy named Bruce that recently had his licence suspended. Researchers have found that completely blocking your phone's access to the internet for just 2 weeks can have profoundly beneficial impacts on your mental health. To find out if this was true, I Googled it and instantly ended up with manic depression. But also a record score on Gardenscapes.
Hey.
Experts say Nostradamus has apparently done it again, predicting the death of Pope Francis in one of his works.
No.
Wow, Nostradamus, what an extraordinary prediction. Old sick guy dies. Lincoln, you'll miss it. Earlier this week, sword swallowers from all over the world shared in this.
Ouch.
The joy that was the World Sword Swallowing Day.
No.
It's wildly popular, very popular festival that's only topped by next week's World Sword Pooping Day. If I had a mic, I'd drop it. Bye.
Very good. We're going to take a break, but more project next.
Welcome back to the show on your Friday. I spat a little bit on my lip, I apologise.
Well, the Adelaide Festival kicks off today, which is often confused with the Adelaide Fringe Festival, which is already on. But don't worry, it's not going to trip up the Arts Minister, Andrea Michaels.
Awesome. Well, very exciting day today. We are opening the 2025 Adelaide Fringe.
And the winner is La La Land. That's a 2017 joke for you. And what's this coming up? Oh, this is a picture of me and Andrew Michaels at a recent play that I did in Adelaide. Hello.
How do you do?
Thank you for your applause. Thank you. Thank you so much for your applause.
You could have stepped in. And
I could have
been
done
her
it.
understudy.
Yeah, at any point I will. I'm ready.
Well, our next guest has created and stars in a new show playing a cancel culture spin doctor publicist who's trying to get his clients and himself back in people's good graces.
Okay, what are we about to watch here, Millsy? I'll tell you what, give me 3 words that describe this footage.
Sexual...
I don't need the other 2. Let's just do this.
Wait, that I was being filmed at first, OK?
Obviously.
The creep who sent me the video said I've got 24 hours.
Well, I'll add you to my fasting app.
That's when he said he's going to post it if I don't transfer him 100 grand.
100 grand? Why? Who's it with? No, I mean, obviously, you're the draw card of the sexual content. I'm just thinking if they're a celebrity, then maybe they'll be rich enough to pay.
Tell us more. Please welcome Troy Kinne. Congratulations. It's funny stuff. Funny stuff.
Thank you.
It's called Full Story.
Yeah.
Do you want to not give us the full story, but at least part of it for everybody?
That's usually how it works in this world. Yeah, well, I mean, you just saw that. Let's do it Pulp Fiction. I'll go back to what brings us to that bit is I'm playing a publicist who's trying to get my company out there because we've just started. And I track down, you know, the TikTok car guy who finds people who've got fancy cars and says, what do you do for a living? I purposely track him down just so I can get on TikTok and go a bit viral, plugging my business. And I brag about this...
So I'm under the impression that your microphone's not working.
Oh, really?
As someone comes in with a giant... Just why even hold it out of frame? Just do this. Just do this. Why are we pretending? Why are we pretending? This is ridiculous.
You got it. Exceptional. So
mate,
sorry for it.
This ain't none of your YouTube rubbish. Welcome to Channel 10.
Just for nostalgic sake, can we get a blue hat?
Mr. Kinne.
Yes.
So, my character...
Tracks down the car guy. He's tracking down the car guy.
Starts bragging about how he's had a meeting with this new rap group that's going viral on TikTok. They're called the Rollin' Rappers, right? And he's just using his silver tongue, bragging that they've got this gimmick. Now, he thinks their gimmick is they're basically like the Wiggles. They're kids, but they sing rap songs that don't have swearing. It's all, child-friendly. It's positive, right? Yeah. He thinks that's the gimmick. Yeah. So he starts going off about them, how good they are, though. But what he doesn't realise is when he had the meeting with them, it was a Zoom meeting, and he couldn't see that they were in wheelchairs. So everything he's saying, like, they should stand up and show the world that they're not just a gimmick, just backfires innocently, so he gets cancelled, right?
Right.
Yes.
So this video that's out there, basically bringing his world down, the crew decides, his little publicity crew, the best thing we can do is set up another celebrity to do something on video that's worse, that takes the focus off my video.
Well, hello, Rob Mills.
Hello, Rob Mills, coming from the heavens.
Yes, I see.
And I must apologise to Georgie, who I've only met tonight. I feel like I do know you. When I wrote the Rob Mills bits, it was years ago when Rob Mills was very single, okay? For those who don't know, Millsy and Georgie are an engaged couple.
We are.
And I did say to Millsy, are you sure Georgie's going to be okay with seeing this single version of you? And he said, I go by the policy, what Georgie doesn't know won't hurt her. And I found that disgusting, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. It's very, very funny, Troy. But the character that you have created, this spin doctor of sorts, like, where did you get the inspo from?
I think he's actually, weirdly, hopefully me 5 years from now. When I've got less of a filter and a bit more balls, if I can say that. Yeah. Because even right now, I'm having something in my head and I'm going, don't say that, say this one. But this guy just lets it all out. And
no filter.
That's sort of his thing. He discovers that during the show, that if he just speaks without thinking, he's very kind-hearted. Yeah. But it's combined with brutal honesty. And it's entertaining to watch, but when you're on the other end of it, it can be tough to take.
I mean, you got Millsy, you got Sophie Monk, you've got our Dave Thornton as well. It's a stacked lineup. Anyone else on the wish list?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we got Scott Ryan as well, pops up in there, who is Mr. In Between, if you've seen that show.
Yeah.
He plays a
Proper
hitman.
actor.
When I first met him, we were, and basically I'm saying him because I want him in it more than he is. I first met him for lunch, and we were walking along, and he spotted me and just made this, he just went... And I reckon it took 5 years off my life. It's like, oh my God, like, should I be doing this?
Oh my God.
Well, it's an amazing job. You can catch it on YouTube, the whole full story, and see how it works out. Please thank Troy Kinne, everybody. Thank you, Susie. Welcome back. We missed you.
That absolutely flew, but we're going to see you 6 o'clock Sunday for the Sunday Project.
I'll be on Sunday.
Weekend.